I had no idea the British press was so bigoted.
This one's wife. You don't live in the Montecito mansion. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. There have been repeated instances where people have queried whether Prince Harry and this one's wife actually do live in the mansion at Montecito. Some suggest that they no longer live there because they have separated. Others have suggested that they've never actually lived there and they've just used it for the purposes of filming. Evidence that supports such a position is the fact that the neighbours, recently appearing in the Lost Prince German documentary, stated that they just do not see the Sussexes. They are not part of the local community. You would think, even in what would amount to a gated community, that you would see them from time to time. And the fact that you don't either means that they go out under cover of darkness, or stay in the house a lot, or quite possibly may not even live there. Their absence in the community and not being seen by neighbours at the property does cast doubt on whether they actually live there. It's also been the case that there have been people reporting the fact that actually the property is available to hire and that you can make inquiries and that you can hire it at several $100s per hour for the purposes of filming there, which appears to be what this one's wife and Harry have done. After all, there has been footage of them within the property. They've been seen there, for instance, for the Harry and this one's wife documentary, which screened 2 years ago. We've seen occasional video excerpts and pictures that have been taken from the study where they sit side by side. Although, in recent months, such footage has not been forthcoming. Furthermore, there have been many instances when they have filmed elsewhere. For instance, when this one's wife undertook the ridiculous Variety magazine interview, remember, as she was filmed in some gardens flapping her oversized feet around and pretending that she was Julia Roberts, that was filmed at San Isidro Ranch. Harry has been filmed at San Vicente Bungalows, and therefore it does start to cause people to query, do they actually live there at all? Have they ever lived there? Has it perhaps just been a ruse for the purposes of making them seem like they are more important and wealthier than they actually are? It would not be beyond the realms of comprehension for a narcissist to pretend to live somewhere when they actually don't, in order to make them look good. It may also be done for reasons of secrecy, to suggest that they live in a particular place to try and throw those off the scent that are investigating them in some degree. That, of course, would be viewed as a threat to control, and therefore it is conceivable that a narcissist may pretend to live in a particular place in order to try and prevent people from finding out where they actually live. It's also the case for the purposes of presenting a facade of success to assert control over people and draw fuel, that a narcissist would pretend to live in property grander than they actually do. And therefore, this charade that this one's wife engages in with relation to so much of her life could also be applicable to the property. Just because she's a narcissist, it doesn't mean that she necessarily lies about where she lives. What it does raise is the possibility, a greater possibility compared to a non-narcissist, that such behaviour would be engaged in. Alongside that, there's also evidence that supports that they may not actually live there, both in terms of the filming that has taken place elsewhere, the fact that the property was available for hire, and the fact that the neighbours never see them. Furthermore, another little piece of evidence has come to light just recently, which may well suggest that it isn't their property at all. Kelly McKee Zaffan, a non-intimate secondary source of this one's wife, put a picture up on her Instagram just recently celebrating her birthday. Here's the picture. The picture shows Zaffan and her husband embracing, dressed casually, and there is a cake, a happy birthday cake, a green cake, presented. You'll also see from the second picture that is presented that it was taken in this kitchen. You can see the two doors and the stonework match. The second picture depicts what is purportedly the kitchen of this one's wife and Harry. Now, one explanation is that Kelly Zaffin decided that she and her husband would take a cake to the Sussexes and picture themselves in somebody else's kitchen sharing an embrace on her birthday. It's possible. It's not beyond the realms of possibility that this is something they would do. But it seems rather strange, doesn't it? If you want to show that you're having a pleasant birthday with your husband, why not take a picture in your home? Why not take a picture of you sat on the sofa as the cake is presented to you? Why not have a picture of you in your own kitchen as you're stood before the cake? Indeed, if this picture was taken in this one's wife's kitchen, you'd anticipate that there would have been at least another picture showing her and Kelly Zaffin in the picture together, perhaps with the husband as well, in front of the cake. Why? Well, this one's wife always likes to elbow her way into the pictures, doesn't she? You'll have noticed a pattern. There are certain times where she claims to have been at an event, but there are no pictures. For instance, the Taylor Swift concert, which calls into question whether she was actually there. We know that if she is at an event, whether, for instance, it's attending an award ceremony that Tyler Perry is at, or walking across a parking lot, she will ensure that she's photographed repeatedly. She'll ensure that she's filmed. And she will ensure that the photographs and film footage appear across social media and mainstream media as soon as possible. We've seen also the way that this one's wife ensures that she's pictured with other people so that they put it on their Instagram. For instance, when she turned up at the recent opening of the bookstore in Montecito, and when she went on a supposed skiing trip with her friends. Again, there are instances whereby she ensures that her picture of her attendance at the relevant event makes its way into other people's social media. The narcissist does this because it's all about the presentation of a facade. Look at me, see what I'm doing, see how popular and exciting my life is. This is done, of course, to assert control over the viewership and draw fuel from them by way of their reactions. Because this one's wife doesn't have her own personal social media account, it becomes important for her to invade other people's, and we've seen this regularly. And the fact that she doesn't appear in the picture that is put on Kelly Zaffin's Instagram, to my mind, is suspicious. It suggests that she wasn't there, for if she were, then she would have ensured that at least one picture would have appeared with her in it. After all, it needs to be all about her. Accordingly, this then presents the possibility that this one's wife wasn't actually in attendance. So then, why was she not in her own kitchen? Could it perhaps be that that isn't her kitchen at all, and it's either Kelly Zaffin's kitchen or simply a place that's available for hire, and Kelly Zaffin has done similar to this one's wife and utilised it? It seems odd that rather than have your photograph taken in your own kitchen, you decide to go to your friends and have a picture taken there. It seems to my mind that either it is your kitchen, and that makes perfect sense, and where you're having your photo taken, or for reasons unknown, you've decided to utilise another property for the purposes of your photograph. This, to my mind, provides another chunk of evidence that supports the possibility that this one's wife and Harry don't actually live at the Montecito mansion, that it's either somebody else's property or that it is simply used for staging events and they live elsewhere. What do you think about this photograph that Kelly Zaffin has portrayed? Do you think it's actually her kitchen, or do you think it is actually this one's wife's kitchen and she's just popped round with a cake and her husband and said, take a picture of us together? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.